So, all right, Isaiah, man, appreciate you for chatting with us, especially with our communications committee on with BSPNTX. What we're trying to do is uh, get an understanding and get people who have been involved in the mentorship program, just get their thoughts. So, I guess my first question for you is, what made you want to join the BSPNTX mentorship program?
So what made me want to join? There's so many, I guess, specific reasons. Generally speaking, it just seemed like a great opportunity. At the time, I was new to BSP. I'd probably been a member for less than a year and was fairly new to DFW and to sports industry as a whole. I was probably, 3, 4 months into my full-time position here with the Rangers, had just come off a box office internship that I was able to parlay into full-time. And I had discovered BSP North Texas as a really valuable resource. And, when that mentorship opportunity came up, it was sort of a no-brainer to kind of get that deeper level of connection with these folks who I could tell were definitely, going to be good resources and people who I would like to see myself in their position one day. So that was probably my primary motivation.
Oh man, and why do you think it's important for people in this space to have a mentor?
Oh, specifically in our industry, who you know is just as, if not more important than what you know. Everybody, I will say it's almost like a small world within sports. A lot of people know other people, and the doors open so quickly for you once you realize that key, I think, fact. And for me, after just 1 or 2 meetings at BSP doing, the in-person meetings that we were able to do before the pandemic, I knew that these were the kind of people that I wanted to be brushing shoulders with. And it was, very evident that, you want to be closer within that circle. And from that, I've had a lot of people connect with me. I've kind of been able to be a mentor to others. We might get into that a bit later, but I think the value is definitely in the network that you can build, and getting a personal connection with a mentor who probably is tapped into a network himself is gold.
And if you don't mind me asking, do you have a mentor yourself right now?
Yes, I do.
And who is that?
My mentor is Larry Lundy, the president. Yeah, I had lunch with him earlier this week. In fact, up in Plano, we try to meet monthly. We're both busy. He's all over the map most of the time, and with baseball season, I'm usually filled up for a good 2/3 of the year. But we try to connect when we can, and yeah, we do lunch or shoot text messages back and forth. I'm a part of a Bible study group actually with him. We do a Zoom call every morning. So, it's not just business with us, but Larry's my mentor. He's definitely a great one. I recommend him for anybody who'd be willing to take him.
Oh man, Larry's good people. Larry's definitely
Yeah.
good people. He was one of the first people I called when I moved to Dallas, and he pitched me on BSP, and he didn't have to tell me too much because he sold me right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
But getting back to the mentorship program, how has your career been impacted since you've gotten a mentor?
Since I've gotten a mentor, I would say that my reach has extended. Within my organization, I've always been able to network and kind of make myself known within the Rangers, but to be able to connect with people that work for the Mavericks, people that work, for college football programs, different, avenues in sports that may not be so directly tied to what I'm doing on a day-to-day. I would say that's the biggest change that I've seen, kind of just the growth of my own personal network.
And you touched on being able to not only just chat with your mentor about, it doesn't have to be strictly about business, but you get those personal relationships.
Yeah.
How has your mentor assisted you when things haven't been going your way in sports? Because we know it's a tough business.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I got a great example. I was furloughed from the Rangers in 2020. We had a new stadium that we were set to open up here in 2020, and the pandemic really couldn't have hit baseball at a worse time, specifically the Rangers. So about 2 weeks before the season started, they announced that there wasn't going to be any fans in the stands. It was kind of a whirlwind of confusion, for a month or two as we were trying to hold on to money, but also give people options for relief because everything was uncertain. And, after that, we, had to make decisions ourselves. I was one of the people who was let go. And for 3 months, I was completely out of the industry, not working at all. And through that, stayed connected with Larry, stayed connected with Breon, Dennis, who's another mentor, not my official one, but he is definitely an unofficial mentor of mine. And they're there to listen. They're there to kind of let me know that I wasn't alone. They were going through it too. And we, I think, all kind of supported each other in that sense. I was fortunate enough to be called back by the Rangers, and I've been here ever since. And I know that, we've all kind of put the pieces back together from that time, but it was definitely a good kind of support system to lean on during those times of uncertainty.
That's great to hear. I guess one of the final questions that I have is, how would you describe your experience being in the mentorship program?
I would describe my experience as friendly. I think that Larry and I have developed a rapport and a connection on more than a personal level. I know that I can shoot him a text and talk to him about anything. We had a very personal conversation earlier this week at our lunch. Life happens. That's something that I've been having to deal with over this past 12-month period, things that are not work related that ultimately can impact your work, because personal life and work life are all one and the same, despite everyone's efforts probably to keep them separate. And to have Larry as someone who I can look up to as a mentor, have him as a role model professionally, but also a friend who I can just be honest with, is probably the biggest takeaway from my experience with the mentorship program.
And what would you tell others in BSP who are thinking about trying to be a part of the mentorship program, or even are hesitant to reach out to somebody when it comes to asking for a mentor? Because, asking for help is always tough. So what would you say to those looking, or in those situations?
Yeah, if I would say, if you're a member of BSP, you need to be a member of the mentorship program. And I would say on both ends. I'm just a mentee, but I would definitely be willing to take on a mentee. I think anyone who has information that they feel like they can share, experiences that they feel like others might be going through, should be willing to share that. I think that's the strength of our organization. Is, yes, we network, yes, we schmooze, we all dress nice and hang out, but we also have shared experiences and knowledge that can help lift all boats, I guess you might say. So if you're not in the program, but you're in BSP, fix that.